Hi, Vieira with StockMarketLive.tv. Before I go on a brief holidays, I'm going to offer you this free trading lesson. You have two choices: or you listen to and eventually you become a millionaire, as I promised on the website, following my live real-time trade alerts and live forecast, as the case of Nintendo or Twilio. These are available on the website for you to invest according to our terms, or you are going to lose entirely your money in the markets. And therefore today I'm going to give you this free lesson referring to facts always, and we are going to make a resume of the week today terminated with record profits in 2016. In fact, in the past 27 years. So the markets closed at new all-time highs. This is according with our forecast in 2016, where you have an article written several months ago that the markets until elections, they are likely to remain with a very high momentum, since the Federal Reserve is not going to do anything. So you have this information on the website for a long period of time, and you had plenty of time to prepare for it. Moreover, if you have been following us live on Twitter, you had plenty of live market calls where you could have become a millionaire investing in the markets without any risk whatsoever, since we made it happen. Okay? We are the only company in the world where we say becomes a fact. We create history in the markets, we shape markets history. Unlike everyone else, and most of them, they are in fact scammers and people without any credibility, including hedge fund managers. For example, the case of Bill Ackman, who I've been discussing here for years, although there are by far more. So you can continue listening to Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse, UBS, Deutsche Bank, whoever you want. I don't have any problems whatsoever. As well as you can listen to the individual who said that oil was going to $60, and today you had oil at $41, and if you sold oil at $51.20, precisely the top so far in 2016, a market call which I made available to you in real time, you are laughing and you are a millionaire, all right? So millions of dollars given to you in real time, and I proved that I know precisely what oil is going to do. I call it the bottom, I call it the top, and I announce that this not only in oil, in fact in the forex market, in stocks, in bitcoins, and everywhere, using all the financial instruments. So again, I repeat, I think that during the course of 2016 you already had plenty of opportunities, as you can see on the website, several reviews, people taking advantage of these calls. So I'm not going to continue offering free information for the rest of the year, since we are going to focus on the existing customers. Having said this, last year in 2015, I predicted that Yahoo had to be shut down. I'm referring to message boards, obviously. And by the way, now that we are talking about Yahoo, one of our recommendations in the past years in Yahoo was to bet on the crash in Yahoo, selling short the stock at $52, when analysts, they became bullish, upgrading or raising targets to $60 plus, and Yahoo crashed, and we said that Yahoo and Alibaba shares, they were going to crash. Well, it happens that when shares of Yahoo fell or crashed all the way down to $27, we upgraded Yahoo as well as Alibaba. Alibaba, it was at $58, more or less, and Yahoo, it was at $27. And therefore, as a subscriber, and you have this article on the website of the company, as a regular visitor to our blog, you have in fact several free articles with regards to Yahoo. And we said that Yahoo was likely to be acquired, okay, a buyout, all right? And I'm going to explain why I'm talking about this buyout, since we predicted almost every single one, the cases of Yoico and many others that occurred last year in 2015, as well as before and also in 2016. No one, for example, predicted that the Yoico could be acquired. You had a sell rating by Deutsche Bank at the very bottom. You remember Yoico was a company trading at $13, $13.13 when Deutsche Bank downgraded to sell. And we said that at that price, in fact, Yoico was a compelling investment opportunity, and shares, they rallied 300%. Okay, so this was one of the cases reported last year in 2015, as it was the case of Altera. Altera, it was other case where every single one, including that criminal Jim Cramer and most Wall Street analysts, that they said Altera was not going to be acquired. And we said, Altera, I trust Intel management, and Altera is going to be acquired, and our price target was $54. In fact, it was Intel, we said that Altera was worth $54, and you received here a recommendation to buy, to invest in Altera, okay? That, if I remember, but you have it on the website, $32 to $35 or so. So a very large profit in Altera. Another company which we announced a buyout, also on the website, that no one believed in, DreamWorks Animation. So you have on the first page of the website our company, the team, selling shares of website, which I'm going to show you here on this video. Okay, rotating the profit obtained in DreamWorks Animation, $40, and bear in mind, no one called the buyout in DreamWorks Animation except ourselves. Even to the last minute, analysts in Wall Street, they said that they didn't believe that DreamWorks Animation was going to be acquired, and in the end it was acquired. So we just have to play the video to see that DreamWorks Animation was trading at $40. We were selling shares and rotating the capital into a short position in Chesapeake Energy that within a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, crashed all the way down to $3.58. Then we upgraded Chesapeake Energy to neutral, and you have these calls live in real time as a subscriber. So going back to the case of Yahoo, and the reason I'm telling you this is very simple, all right? I'm going to explain this in detail. So you have here the article, and the title is Why Yahoo Message Boards Have to Be Shut Down. So this was written last year in 2015, and at that time we had a short position in Yahoo, and you have here a video, okay? This video is available on YouTube, it is available on Vimeo, or therefore on the web, in our own website, Why Yahoo Message Boards Have to Be Shut Down, all right? And today, in 2016, what happens? It happens that Yahoo message boards have been shut down, okay? So what the company did was to change the layout. Basically, the layout is a completely different one, and it is a solid framework for stupid people, okay? So basically what Yahoo is saying is, if you consider yourself remain stupid, as we consider that you are, by visiting our forums, you have this new layout, and please be our guest, okay? So this was one of our predictions. Therefore, we not only make predictions in stocks or oil or bitcoins, we also make these predictions that they are very important for companies to evolve, okay? So after the crash in Yahoo, we invested in Yahoo, and today Yahoo was a company acquired, okay? So very important, since we call it this investment process since the very beginning. Why I'm discussing this, meanwhile, this buyout or these facts, okay? Because recently I uploaded a video discussing the case of Yelp, all right? And the case of Yelp, and by the way, going back a little bit, you had the oil at $51.20, all right? So $51.20, you had here my call, it is here, live, on the web, all right, Vieira live trading, selling oil after calling bottom, okay? So if you sold oil at $51.20, and I told you that this was going to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you have here the live chart. Well, today, the article that you see on the web, today, as of today, so you had to wait a bit, all right? So today, what the article that you see, July 26, so today is in fact July 29, even worse since oil fell further. you have the title on CNN Money, all right? So here is the title, oil prices fall to 3-month lows, okay? So there is an article also before ahead of the, this important sell-off, and meanwhile oil entered again the bear market territory. So Goldman Sachs again proven wrong about oil. That has been the same situation within the past 10 years. And you have an article ahead of the sell-off. You have an article on the web, I believe, on CNN or so. You just have to Google it. By the most important company in the world, in fact, from Saudi Arabia, Aramco, saying that oil was going up to $60, okay? So I said oil is not going to $60, there is no way that Saudi Arabia is going to get it, okay? That is how things are done. And also I discussed it here in details, if you remember, all those fires that occurred in Canada, okay, when oil was precisely ahead of the sell-off in oil, okay? And I explained the reasons why you had the fires in Canada, okay? If you wanted to believe, you believe. If you don't want to believe, my friends, today, again, you lose money in the markets. But, like I said before, you have two choices. Or you listen to someone who is credible and has the single best historical record investing in the markets, or you lose money in the market. So you have two choices. It is up to you. I don't mind at all. This week, and now discussing the case of one of the most recent, the case of Yelp, which I recommended to last year in 2015, a live market call and the article discussing Yelp and saying Yelp is going to crash. You have share price manipulation, and I explain in detail. Okay, you have the videos on the web, share price manipulation, Yelp, this is going to have a very high price, cost. So Yelp shares collapsed, as well as the case of Twitter, while JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs, they were upgrading to outperform with target prices above $60. And we were there. So in the same article, you have Vieira double short position in Yelp, and that was at $50.30, if I'm not mistaken. And you have also, you just have two types on search in our own website, Vieira double short position Yelp, and you are going to obtain the article live, obviously, and shares, they collapsed, okay? So we sold short Yelp since $92, shares, they collapsed all the way down to $17. And then we upgraded to buy, all right? So why did we upgrade to buy? Many reasons we upgraded to buy. Those reasons are mentioned, some of them, in an article on the website as well. So the fact is that today, as of Friday, Yelp closed at above $32. So I think that you had plenty of time, my friends, to make a lot of money in Yelp, okay? So not to invest in Twitter, although you can always speculate in Twitter if you want, all right? Due to the current market conditions that they are very favorable, but to invest in Twitter or to buy Twitter when they were saying that rumors at $50, it is absurd, okay? If you want to speculate at $15 or $16, that might be a different matter. One day Twitter might be acquired or not. But Yelp, I'm saying this because meanwhile I received some emails or comments by people on the web that Yelp is a scam. But this is where I'm going to offer you the free lesson, the trading lesson. Whether Yelp is a scam or not, I know very well Yelp as I know GoPro. And by the way, GoPro shares, they rallied 35% since I announced also live on the website that I closed the short position in GoPro. And I said I'm not going to buy GoPro shares, and I didn't buy, but I closed the short position in GoPro, and I told you when to close the short position at $9, okay? So why to close the short position in GoPro, if you want to know? One of the reasons, there are many, but one of the reasons is that Goldman Sachs, yes, once again, they downgraded GoPro at $10. So why someone is going to downgrade GoPro at $10 if GoPro last year was trading at $90, okay? Or 95, in fact, when I downgrade to strong sell, calling a crash. Why to downgrade at $10? Something is wrong, right? So when you have these, investment banks that you know very well their history in the past 20 years, responsible for the financial crisis. It was the case, or it is the case with Goldman Sachs. I remember, for example, in 2009, Goldman Sachs downgrading American Express, one of the best companies in the world, a leading global company, at $11 in 2009. So, and then, a few years later, that was last year in 2015, you have other article in our own website, Goldman Sachs upgrading, raising targets in American Express at a price of $92, saying that shares they would go above $100. So that was the top. That is when we downgraded, in fact, American Express, and shares they collapsed. Okay. So then I announced when to cover short positions reverse into the long side in the case of American Express. Also, calls available to you, free complimentary on the website of the company. So I'm discussing Yelp because some people they reply by saying that Yelp is a scam, blah, blah, blah. As an investor in the markets, and so, there are many companies that I dislike, but the fact that I dislike a company or the management of a company, it does not mean that if I visualize that shares they are going up, I do not recommend to buy the stock. I do recommend to buy the stock. You have a recent example with Tesla Motors. Tesla Motors at $193, we bought the stock. We bought the stock. I had a short position and I recommended to buy the stock. Okay? $193. Today, as of Friday, Tesla Motors, the share price closed at $235. Okay? This week, for example, I saw that Tesla Motors share price was likely to continue moving higher, and the stock closed at new highs for the week. I dislike Tesla Motors management, I dislike their attitude, I dislike many things about Tesla Motors. But, for example, again, speaking about Tesla Motors, you had my call in 2015 saying you have here a button, this is when you are going to invest in Tesla Motors. So you have an investment plan to buy shares in Tesla Motors when everyone was selling. That was at $148. And it was not the bottom, okay? The shares, they went down to $141.80 or so. So at $147, we upgraded to strong buy Tesla Motors. And shares, they went all the way up to $267. Then I said, well, here, my friends, I think that you are a sucker buying here. But that is up to you, all right? So the case of Yelp or Tesla Motors or companies which I dislike, as other examples, I don't know, El Pollo Loco or even GoPro, okay? So GoPro shares, they rallied 35%, that is a fact, all right? I didn't buy GoPro, I don't want, I don't need, all right? I don't care, but I closed the short position and shares, they went up. So you were informed about it. With regards to Yelp, that is a different case, because Yelp, it happens that everyone has been selling short the stock, all right? Everyone has been selling short the stock. I told you when to sell short the stock ahead of the collapse, not after the crash. So my friends, the public, what they did, in particular in the United States, they sold short heavily Yelp at the bottom. Well, my friends, obviously today you have Yelp almost 100% above the bottom. Okay, so the bottom, it was around $15. At $17, we upgraded the shares to buy, okay? Because my upside in Yelp, that is where I visualize that Yelp, in fact, could rally, and these people, they know because there is a forecast since then, in fact, since 2015, $33, okay? So 17, potential to go to $33, it is tremendous, okay? So today you had Yelp closing above $32, all right? And maybe the company, I don't know if they already announced earnings or not, that is not of my concern. If they beat earnings, maybe you will see higher prices. But the fact is that people have been selling short Yelp because, you know, they are, instead of following my advice ahead of the crash, no, they sold short just because, you know. So today you have a very important loss. And I'm very happy as well as everyone else here. I'm not referring to the team, I'm referring to every single customer, because you or people out there without any credibility whatsoever, you have been selling short Yelp because you consider that Yelp is a scam or blah, 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 blah. That does not matter. Your opinion, you have to put this in your brain, okay, my friends? And this is regardless of the investor who I'm talking to, okay? Can be you or Mr. Warren Buffett, or does not matter at all, right? You had in fact other call recently with regards to John Deere selling Buffett stocks, the fact John Deere and shares they plunged. If I tell you that you have to buy, probably there is a reason to buy the stock, okay? For example, if I told you that Nintendo had to be bought, the shares to go all the way up to $38.20 and to sell there, probably you had to sell shares at $38.20 because if we said and we announced that we had a short position, shares they were going to collapse, all right? So Yelp, it is in fact a company that benefits from Pokemon Go, unlike, for example, what most people they believe. They don't even know about this, okay? So most people, because most people they are stupid. This is something that Einstein taught us 1 century ago. And you have Nintendo, meanwhile, shares they collapse, okay? So they collapse and you had my calls in the website of the company. So going back to the case of Yelp, and you have this, obviously, the news, they appear on CNN or on TV after the fact. Oil prices fall to 3-month low. You know, 1 month ago, they were talking about oil prices to go to $75, okay? $60, $75, there were price targets for everyone. You had Goldman Sachs saying oil is moving higher, okay? At the bottom, you had Goldman Sachs saying oil is moving lower, it's going to $20. So you cannot ever trust these investment firms. This is a material fact. It has been like this since the very beginning, okay? Goldman Sachs, for example, it is not the same company 20 years ago compared to what they are today, right? It's completely different. 20 years ago, they had quality people there. Today, they have students working for them. People incompetence, okay? You have many examples of it, and they are real, in fact, on the web. In fact, related to some politicians, which I'm not going here to refer, since otherwise I would take, hours or days to address everything. Anyway, today you had, or during the week, you had plenty of free market calls. One of them here on the website to sell Amazon at $774 an hour, for example, and this was after earnings reporting, real time, completely for free. And what happened? Today, Friday, Amazon closed at $758. So we already saved some money, okay? So you already saved some money. For example, for those that they are subscribers, you have here an article saying that on earnings, they received in real time an article to take profits in Facebook at, or to reduce the size of the investment position at 132, okay? Today, Facebook is a stock that closed as of Friday, $123.94, okay? So this, for a small investor, might not be important, my friends, but for institutions, for those that they are serious about trading, this represents a lot of money. We are talking about a lot of money, okay? For that criminal Jim Cramer, who he sees, Facebook, for example, going to $160, or he adopts probably the same strategy as he told you about Apple or investing in Apple last year, is in my portfolio. You don't trade Apple, you own it, okay? And meanwhile, shares of Apple crashed, all right? And I gave you also here the buttons in Apple at $93.40. With regards to Facebook, this individual tells you Facebook is going to $160, but there is a process, an investment process, and what in fact he says it does not matter, okay? So there is an investment process, and it is important these adjustments that you make in your portfolio, because ahead of the, for example, the Facebook earnings call, you had here Facebook strong buy, invest in Facebook, all right? And bear in mind that Jim Cramer didn't invest in Facebook, okay? He has been wrong in Facebook since IPO, in fact. Well, having said this, so this is a review also of some of the trade calls. To Willio, you had Humana. This week, you had Facebook, you had Amazon, you had Yelp. Yelp today closed at a new 52-week high in 2016. So you continue having large profits everywhere in the markets, and you have the markets also closing today at new all-time highs. Okay, when, for example, if you type here on the web, you have hundreds or thousands of articles ahead of this tremendous rally. which is in fact a very rare unique event in the past, I would say 40 years or so. The markets are going up every single day. Okay, they didn't have any, or they have not had any pullback so far. Not one single pullback since the bottom, the post-Brexit, when everyone was talking about the end of the world. And you had an article, one of the reasons I announced, and this was, I repeat, made available to you a few months ago. In that article, markets likely to remain rigged until US elections. You have, post-Brexit, several articles on the web, on CNN, many websites, including from people that you are very familiar with. For example, George Soros, saying very bearish outlook, or Carl Icahn. Well, Carl Icahn always the same, so Carl Icahn has been wrong about almost everything, I'm sorry. Even if I like him in certain things, I dislike, not only what happened in Apple. In the end, he closed the position, bragging about, Apple going to $256 or whatever. I mean, and then in the end, someone that closed a position in Apple. I mean, and then in fact today, if he referring to the price that he closed the position, today Apple is above his exit price. I mean, it's quite amazing. I would say, I don't know, it's amazing. Or someone that tells you to invest, in Transocean ahead of the complete meltdown, or in Chesapeake Energy. I mean, is someone, but this to say what? This to say that, my friends, this social media, what you have in the markets, in the investment process, social media, people, today everyone is reports on social media, okay? They think that social media is important, or they are someone just because they have 1 million followers or whatever. I could have 10 million followers. I could buy followers, okay? If I wanted to. I don't do it. I'm against. In fact, I don't want followers. We are in Twitter because, or in Facebook, because I consider that is important for also the company to be known, okay? Which is a different matter, and to help some people or small investors that in fact they can do it, as you can see on the website, to profit from using some of these market calls. That you had plenty of time, I repeat, during the first half of the 2016, since I had some time, but the second half I will not, since I have to focus on customers and projects that we have going forward. So this is a review. You had, I don't know how many free calls in 2016 you had. We didn't miss one single call in 2016, okay? Not one single call that you see on the website of the company, not one single call. It was in Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, all right? So you remember this. I mean, you go through the website and you have all of them. And they are there, so we cannot remove posts or delete posts or change posts, okay? They are there, live for you to read, to visualize, and to see that there is a current workflow, unlike other websites, I mean, where they say, well, Amazon reported earnings today, so, but, yeah, everyone reports earnings, but no one tells you what to do ahead of earnings or after earnings. So where is the value? Where is the value? After earnings, that someone tells you, the price target is, 950, let's, throw 950. That does not say anything. Or Facebook, price target 160. But until you get 160, or 150, or 140, or 130, there is an investment process. So you have to inform the investor, and this is what we do here in real time every single day. For example, since Facebook is a very important company for us, I've been discussing Facebook every single day, announcing the top and the bottom of the day. And they have this information in real time, the subscribers, okay? So they know where is the top and the bottom of every single day. So they can manage the position. Therefore, it is not just a question of holding 10,000 shares in Facebook and to sit down, okay? No, they can, if they are frequent traders, they can manage, or they can, profit from these moves, the intraday moves that they have in the markets. Some of them, they are interested in doing that. All others, they just want to, they are not frequent traders. They don't have to be before the screens or computers every single day. And in fact, I'm not announcing this on real time on live streaming. So on live streaming, we have been doing other things. they receive this information on Yammer. So on their mobile device, they have this information on Yammer, pops up, and they immediately they can trade Facebook or any other stock that they have instructions to do it, as well as on articles that we write on the website. So you have two choices, all right? Or you listen to, and by the way, for example, one of the single best stock market performers, or the best stock market performer in 2016, it is precisely one of our picks, long-term investment picks that no one wanted, the case of Nvidia, okay? That I think today the stock is trading around $57, okay? Which I already sold, but it is $57, okay? So strong buy, $12.70, no one wanted the stock, okay? Today, $57, they want the stock, okay? Other, Intuitive Surgical. My friends, I think that you had years, to take advantage of Intuitive Surgical, okay? And the stock continues moving higher and higher, all right? So where is the top? I don't know, ask George Soros or Carl Icahn or Obama, that they might help you to visualize it. But the fact is that it is amazing, the stupidity of people, that they see stocks. For example, you have other article on the website of the company, stocks, safe investments, stocks that they move higher almost every day, every week, or every month. The case of AutoZone. This week, the stock made a new 52-week high, AutoZone, or very close to it. All right? So, other stock that we addressed. I'm not recommending to buy right now. You had it, for example, 2 weeks ago, you had it, I think, AutoZone at $750. Today is $810, okay? So, my friend, it's $60 difference, all right? So, I don't know. You have plenty of time, and I don't know what people are doing, all right? So, we have a very nice image on just to play around. And this image is not to play around, is not the word, to be serious. In fact, we have been using this image during the stock market rally, okay? So the image that I'm referring to is Mrs. Yellen, you know who she is, and with the image with buy stocks now, damn it, okay? This image has been on Twitter, in our own Twitter channels, for weeks. Buy stocks now, damn it, and the markets have been moving, zooming higher. Right? So something, this image can have as a meaning, a very important meaning, as well as you have here, you see the call in Amazon at $774 an hour. You have it here, for example, I clicked on the blog, you have the blog, you have plenty of articles here, you see. How Twitter leaked earnings ahead of reporting. My friend wrote this article, okay? I think is an interesting one, fascinating that you don't find it elsewhere. That tells you also the difference between our opinions in our team. Then you have here the free live Nintendo Pokemon Go, so the call in Nintendo at $38 an hour. What happened since then? Investor teach how to make $1 million selling Tesla buying Humana. Okay, so you had here the calls in Humana and in Tesla Motors. Then you have, for example, F5 Networks. That is one of the stocks that I recommended ahead of the buyout, but quite frankly, I don't think that you are going to see any buyout in F5 Networks. Some titles we play with, okay, but does not matter. It is interesting. Selling short Netflix ahead of earnings miss, but also then we recommended to buy the stock at $85.40. Then shares, they went to $92.70. I mean, and these calls, they are there in real time, okay? No one else can do this, all right? So these calls, they are there in real time. If you want, my friends, to do something different, it is up to you, all right? So I wish you, since I'm going on holidays, I wish you also excellent holidays, excellent second half of 2016. I'm not going to be here, obviously, comparing to the first half. I'm going to be here by far less times. And, well, I wish you all good luck also for the rest of the year. You have in our website, you find plenty of videos and market calls to take advantage of. And I wish to congratulate and also to thank you those that they have been regular visitors to the blog of the company, our own social media channels. But I repeat that going forward, I'm going to be, you have here also some reviews from people that I'm not familiar with. And going forward, then you have here what I consider the most, probably one of the most important tools that you have on the website, a complementary one, that is the blog of the company. Okay? The blog of the company, where you find information that you don't find elsewhere. Okay, so there are many people today that they just refer to our website and they neglect completely, you know, other or most other websites. Since you can go there, but you are poisoned. Okay, you have the case precise of Yelp that Reuters were saying, and other websites that you know, at $50 Yelp was likely to be acquired, and shares they collapsed. Okay, so today, my friends, if they start again with a rumor, it is upon to you. It is not my case. So you have here the, you know, articles for the week, videos. One of most important articles, the case of Perelman algorithm trading in stock market, that started with examples of stocks that they were referred to here, which are very important. Precisely one of Mr. Carl stocks that collapsed, we collapsed it, we predicted the crash, and I'm referring to Voltaire Corporation. So my friends, that was other investment process that we discussed here free last year in 2015. So every single year we have plenty of stocks that we discuss completely for free. And so this is a review of this week, or the past weeks, in fact, in the markets. Facebook, live market calls in Facebook ahead of earnings. Nintendo, you have here screenshots. You see screenshots in real time in Nintendo, in Amazon, in Facebook. Live trading Apple, 0 losses in 90 years, and we continue. So ahead of earnings also, important call in a free one, in fact, in Apple. Closing short position around $92, around that price that you also had a few months ago. Then telling you the truth about certain companies, like the case of Netflix, the Tesla Motors management. Some people might dislike, others might disagree, but we always differentiate between, you know, the sentiment or what is there live compared to you know, certain the activity. And one of the most important calls in history, precisely that you have here, again, free, that has been available on the website for a long time, period of time. I appraised the Goldman Sachs, okay, $138. Since then, shares they bounced, not much to $160 or so, but that was important bounce from 138. Since we had a triple short position, but we remained short Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank, and these shares of these companies, as you are aware of, they collapsed. But my friends, the most important is that we told you here already 2 years ago and before, that Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank, they were two of the worst investment banks in the world, okay? And in fact, Credit Suisse even worse than Deutsche Bank. So they collapsed, okay? And no one, you know, out there ever consider that these banks would or could collapse, and that is the reality. No one considered that, for example, that oil could collapse all the way down to $26 and collapse, okay? So when we, a few years ago, when Goldman Sachs was upgrading, you know, oil to $200, as last year, for example, Credit Suisse was upgrading Tesla Motors at the top at $285, collapse, you had the collapse, okay? So you only invest in the markets after you make the most, you profit from the short side, and then you close the short and you reverse the long side after, you know, they capitulate, all right? That is one of the investment keys that you have, or methodologies that we use here, all right? And you have to play this video. It is one of the most important here, Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank, stocks to crash. And this article is as a long, in fact, this the video is a video that is already quite old, referring to what we consider the most important, credibility, track record, my friends, credibility and track record. Okay, you have here the free stock charts, for example, the case of Credit Suisse. All right, so free stock charts. Downgrade to strong sell. Imagine we downgrade Credit Suisse to strong sell, $54. My friends, you had here, you know, hundreds, thousands of calls for you to play with, to invest in the markets, and free and live in real time, unlike everyone else who only, in fact, report something after the facts, zero value, zero credibility, as this individual that was saying that oil was going up to $60 ahead of an important sell-off, plunging all the way down to $40, my friends. It's amazing, but they speak precisely, they appear on the web when you have or you are near the tops. And then if someone, starts saying, oil now is going again to $20, I mean, you have to be careful, because scammers, they appear always on CNBC or on Yahoo message boards, okay? Or on stock tweets, precisely. There is no difference whatsoever between the scam websites, seekingalpha.com, stock tweets, they are all Americans, okay? Seekingalpha.com, it's not that I have something against the Americans, it's not that, it's precisely that, you don't see this in other countries, it's precisely in the United States, because there is no law there, is like the cowboys, everyone has a gun, even it is allowed people or children to have guns. In Christmas they offer guns to children, they are not allowed to use it, but they can offer guns to children, this is a fact, okay? I'm talking about mathematics, all right? So my friends, probably most people, they are not aware of this, but that is not of my concern. I think that is a good idea for you to start reading some books, that is when, and not thinking that you start, that you learn about investing in the markets on TV or on, CNN or CNBC or Reuters, or reading, or referring to Twitter channel Carl Icahn, okay, which is quite frankly amazing, or even worse, by far worse, because this one should be jailed, Mr. Bill Ackman, okay, it is completely, I mean, it's better we stop here. Thank you.